Gjergj Elez Alia. The legend of Gjergj Elez Alia is one of the most popular in Albanian folklore. This is a prose tradition taken from 𝓛𝓮𝓽𝓸𝓻𝓲 of the original recording in the form of epic verse. Gjergj Elez Alia had always been the greatest of heroes. For years, he had been the strongest in the land of our forefathers and had always defended its honor. With cudgel and sword in hand, he fought enemies who came from land and sea to ravage and enslave our country. Gjergj Elez Alia brought all enemies to their knees. In the course of his many battles, however, he had received 9 wounds and now lay 9 years in his tower, wasting away. Everyone had forgotten him and acknowledged him to his fate, except his sister. She sat day and night at his bedside, cleansed his wounds for 9 years with spring water, rinsed them with her tears, and dried his blood with her hair. She bound his wounds with their mother's shawl. Their father's old clothes provided shade. His weapons hung at the foot of the bed. Whenever he looked at them, he felt his heart beating firmly and was filled with a ray of hope. When his sister bound his wounds, he endured the pain like a man. There was but one pain Gjergj could not endure, that of seeing his beloved sister with him in the high tower, shut in as he buried alive, looking after him and caring for his souls. This pain caused Gjergj to rage. His sister had never had any pleasure in life. Her friends had enjoyed the fruits of their youth, had fallen in love, married, and had children. She lived alone in the tower with her sick brother Gjergj. As the 9 years passed, the word spread that the swarthy baloz had risen from of the sea, a mighty and cunning giant, worse than anything that had ever befallen man before. This animal, baloz, had demanded a heavy tribute from the country. Every family was to give it one young maiden and a roast of mutton. Day after day, it continued its murderous course. Week after week, it devised whole magicians. It had slain so many warriors that no one had the courage to oppose it, for its cudgel was huge, its sword razor sharp, and its lance able to transfix all bodies in its path. The whole country suffered from the evil deeds to the baloz. Gjergj Elez Alia knew nothing of these evil deeds. He wasted away in bed like a buried corpse. No friends came to tell him their woes or to ask his help, since they all knew, well, that he could not even get up and walk to the door. When the turn came for Gjergj's house to pay tribute to the baloz, the sister began to curse and laugh. Why? Oh, why has death forgotten us, brother? Our parents are already resting in peace under the lemon tree. The brother is at death's door in his own house, and the sister is now to fall prey to the baloz. Death. Why doesn't the tower simply collapse and bury us? Death would be sweeter than a life without honor. At the moment, Gjergj awoke and looked around, unaware of what was happening. He could feel moisture on his face and thought that the tower was descending and letting the rain in. With a heavy heart, he looked up at his sister and saw the traces of tears on her pale cheeks. In his rage, he cursed the tower. May you turn black, old tower! May you roll from top to bottom and be inhabited by snakes! How can you let raindrops fall on my bed? His sister wiped the tears from her eyes and said, No, brother, it is not raining, nor is the roof leaking. Your wounds and the solitude have weakened you so much that you don't know what you are saying. I have just been weeping, brother. Gjergj stroked her arm and with his amazed hand stroked her face, looked into her tender eyes and spoke this time more blatantly. Why are you weeping, sister? not had food and drink over these 9 years? Has your brother not left you close? Has he offended you or bored you so that you now want to leave him and marry? The sister took his hand, placed in her forehead, and replied, "Oh, brother, it is your suffering that has confused you and made you talk this way. I would rather be buried alive than think of marriage. I have enough to eat and drink, and enough clothes, nor have you ever offended me. You have been a brother and a father for me. But now, Gjergj, the time has come for me to tell you of the calamity which has befallen us. You have not risen and gone out of the door once in all these 9 years, and your sister has never complained. But why should I now have to suffer the disagreement of being over to the baloz?" When Gjergj heard this, he suddenly forgot his wounds and sprang to his feet as if he'd never been ill. A hero, slim and standard, as he had always been. He stood there and said to her, "Sister, take the war horse into town at once, and bring it to the smith who is my blood brother. Bring him greetings from Gjergj, and tell him to feed the steed with shoals of iron and nails of bronze, for I am going to challenge the baloz. If my blood brother will not show the steed, take it to the other smith who is my friend." The maiden mounted the steed and rode as swiftly as she could into town to see the blood brother. When she greeted the smith and asked him on behalf of her brother to show the steed, he began making excuses. In these 9 years, Gjergj had been shut up in the stable. The smith had forgotten they were blood brothers. He prophesied, "If you were to be kind to me, young maiden, and do me a favor, I'll save your brother Gjergj and show his steed so well that he could fly with it like the wind." The maiden was shocked and turned away from him. "How can you say a thing like that, O smith? Mere 𝓛𝓮𝓽𝓸𝓻𝓲. I thought I had knocked on the door of a blood brother, but find instead that I have knocked on the door of some wandering minstrel. I have done enough favors to my parents whose bodies now rot under the earth, and to my brother Gjergj, who has been wasting away for 9 years now." Breaking off her indigent reply to the dear smith, she mounted her steed and rode to the other smith, greeting him on behalf of her brother and convening his request. The second smith lost no time and showed the steed as if it were his son. Then he replied, "Greet Gjergj for me. May he be victorious in his battle with the baloz." The maiden set off, expressing her gratitude to the smith, and returned home that evening, where Gjergj was waiting for her under the linden tree. He was already dressed and bearing his weapons. Gjergj had heroically overcome the pain in his body to defend the reputation of his house and homeland and to seek vengeance. Gjergj Elez Alia then sent his greetings to the baloz, telling it, "I have no maiden for you, baloz. The sheep of my land have not been fit for you. I have but one sister, but cannot offer her to you, because otherwise I would have no one to tend my wounds. I therefore challenge you to combat on the battlefield." When the next day dawned, Gjergj and the baloz arrived at the battlefield and began exchanging insults. The baloz was dressed in a heavy coat of armor with a steel helmet on its head, and armed with a huge cudgel and a long sword. Even its steed was covered in armor, and the earth itself trembled as they advanced. When the baloz called the claims of the mystic Gjergj on his steed, it began to laugh and called out, "Have you come back from the grave, Gjergj? Why have you called me to the battlefield in vain? Do you not know that I am the sea baloz? Have dropped many a hero from their seat and set them to the underworld? I can topple you with my little finger, Gjergj for the shepherds. Now I have to come to teach you the fine customs of our people. For we never give up on anything without a fight. We will never give our sister to the baloz without doing battle with it first. Get ready, baloz. Your final hour has come. Thus spoke Gjergj Elez Alia. Then they spurred their steeds and galloped onto the battlefield. The cunning baloz seized the first opportunity and hurled its cudgel. Gjergj's steed dropped down and its front legs and died, and the heavy cudgel flew over Gjergj's head 24 yards down in the valley. When it hit the ground, a cloud of dust rose 24 yards in the air. Now it was Gjergj's turn. He hurled his cudgel so expertly that it struck the baloz right on the head. The baloz collapsed and fell over dead. As it hit the ground, the earth gave a shudder, and its steed took flight. Gjergj swiftly drew his sword and chopped the monsters, the rest of body by the feet through the bushes and thieves, and threw it in one well that there were blood of some. He hurled his cudgel so expertly that it struck the baloz right on the head. The baloz collapsed and fell over dead. As it hit the ground, the earth gave a shudder, and its steed took flight. Gjergj swiftly drew his sword and chopped the monster's head off. He hung the head from his saddle, dragged the rest of the body by the feet through the bushes and fixed and threw it in well where the blood of the sworded baloz blanked the whole river. Then the victorious hero returned home, gathered his friends around him and said, "Lend me your earth, my friends. I am leaving you my tower and giving you all my money, my animals, and my possessions. Take good care of the sister of Gjergj Elez Alia." The hero then embraced his worthless sister who was waiting for him. And at that very moment, the two hearts ceased beating, and the brother and sister passed away. No one had ever seen a simpler and sweeter death. Their friends grieved for them and buried them in a grave deep enough for both brother and sister in their embrace. Around the grave, they constructed a thick well